Hello everyone, and welcome to my comparison of the 2013 and the 2022 ATTs. These sets are both behemoths, and today we're going to be comparing them and deciding which one is better. Starting off with just some basic information about each set. The first ATT here was released in 2013, was based off of episode 2, came with 794 pieces and retailed for $90. This set came with 5 minifigs, none of which I can show you today because when I was a kid I did do some Lego trading and I lost some of the minifigs.
Are you stupid or something?
I don't want to talk about it, I'm still very angry at myself. At the time I believe all of these were exclusive, and some really cool sets were the Coleman Trabar minifigure and those really cool Geonosian droids. The dark orange looked really cool. Then of course you got a newly updated Mace Windu. Fast forward to today, however, and there's a clone Sergeant available in a $15 set and a new beautiful Mace Windu available in a $40 set, so some of those really unique minifigures aren't so unique anymore. Now we have the ATTE from 2022 that comes with 1,082 pieces and costs $140. Now, adjusted for inflation, from 2013 to now, $90 is worth about $115. So where did the other $25 come from? It's worth noting that the set comes with 8 minifigs and a spider droid. First up, if we're comparing the minifigures, the 2022 ATT comes with 8 minifigures including 3 battle droids, 3 normal, 2 22nd troopers, a special pilot, and finally Phase 2 Commander Cody. There is no way I see the minifigs from the 2013 ATTE being better than 8 minifigures. You get 3 more, and you get more than 1 clone, and one of them is a highly sought after clone trooper. I don't think there's any way that I can spin this that the 2013 ATT has better minifigures. It has 3 left and only 1 clone. The 2013 ATT might have better exclusive minifigs, but Commander Cody is still an amazing minifigure on its own, and the 2022 ATT is definitely the one that you'd want to be buying to army build, with only 1 really exclusive minifigure. Now if we compare the 2022 Dwarf Spider Droid to the 2016 Dwarf Spider Droid, I think you guys can tell which one looks better. The 2022 one looks great without a stud shooter, and while the top part might be a bit tall, I do think generally it looks a lot better. Now as I dropped both of these in, something that I noticed right away is the carry handle on the 2022 version of this set is a lot more easy to work with. The 2013 carry handle is very rigid, so when you lift it up, it just goes straight up and then the whole thing just kind of wiggles while this is sturdy. Now the 2022 version, when you lift it up, it has more give, and when you hold it, it does lean more, but it feels easier to hold, if that makes any sense. Now, starting off at the front of both of these, they do look pretty similar. In general, the color scheme is about the same. There's a bit more light bluish gray on the newer version. Both of the fronts disconnect the same. They have the same functionality. You just pull the driver's seat out. They are both built and act exactly the same. 2022 version has added some more swoopability and some cool lights on the front. I think it's just a little bit more better connected. There's some tighter angles and it just looks really good. The only place that the 2022 version is losing points on the front is on this long barrel, and that's not the barrel itself because it's built very similar to the 2013 one, and I think in general it looks fine. Except Lego has started using these new stud shooters, which I do think are better than the old ones, but I do prefer the flick fire missiles from the 2013 one. The turrets themselves work exactly identical, no new features there, and they look pretty similar. Now if we move both of these to the side, here's where you can really start to see the main differences between these two sets, and that is not only the legs, which have different shapes and sizes, but also the joints holding the legs to the build. Now the legs all work the same on both of these sets. They can be dropped into place rather smoothly. The 2022 one might work a little bit better, but that's just because of updated pieces and techniques. Now a lot of people prefer the 2013 style because the legs are a little bit bigger. And while I agree with that, we have to remember that the 2022 ATTE is based off of Episode 3 and the Clone Wars, in which case, if we're looking at the Clone Wars version, it actually looks more accurate that way. So it really depends on what your ATTE is going to be for. If you're basing it off of the prequels, you might prefer the 2013 one, but if you're basing it off the Clone Wars, you might prefer the new one. Now the sides are about the same. 2022 one has less of a gap between the armored plating and the part that makes the carry handle with all the Technic. You can see there's less black showing here. A lot of people have issues with this part of the new version. I think some other pieces could be added to give it more of a dome look, like the 2013 one, which looks really good, and I do really like that design. I think it's held up well. The inclusion of more stickers, though, does really give some points to the 2022 version. So the major difference is the 2013 version has a ladder, while the 2022 version doesn't. So I guess as far as a play function, the 2013 one wins out there. Now if you pop open the back, the 2013 one just flips up easily, while the 2022 version requires the disconnecting of this clip, which is quite hard to do one-handed. You flip this down and it folds in rather nicely, but there is no ladder. It flips up. So right away you can see, 2013 one, not a big focus on the space. It's more about the play function, while the 2022 version has more space, more details, but less of a play function to get into the back. So again, that's going to come down to a preference thing, but I think in general having more room for your troops is going to be a big deal for people, so the 2022 version I think is a lot better in that sense. Now there is one feature that the 2022 version has that the old one does not, and that is when you flip down the panels here, there's nothing inside, but when you flip down the panels here, there's actually a little piece that you can grab. It's easier if you flip up the top here, but I just open the panels because why not? You can put 2 minifigures on there and then slide them back in, and then there's some other little bits and goodies in there. So there is definitely a lot more space in the 2022 version. So now the question is, which one of these is better? Now, of course, the 2013 one is no longer available and sells for around $350. So if you're looking at the price right now, if you want to get both of these on the same market, the 2022 version is obviously superior. Even if we were looking at that $50 difference from retail price, I still think that the 2022 version is better. You get more minifigures and a better build. And since we're talking about the build, the 2022 version just does a great job updating from the old version. I think the gaps between, the panels and the rest of the build are a little bit better than the 2013 version, especially on the sides, which is a big improvement for such a weirdly shaped vehicle. And they've been able to add a lot more space in a build that actually looks smaller than its predecessor when you look at it from this view. This is also a great set to army build with only really one minifigure that would look weird if you army built, which is obviously Phase 2 Cody. The 2013 one only comes with one clone, which isn't even meant to be army built. I think overall there's just no way that the 2022 version doesn't win out against the 2013 version, which I think is how it should go. When you remake a set, it should be remade better. If you're a Clone Wars fan or even just a Star Wars fan, a fan of the prequels, this is a great set to add to your collection. This set is also very cool. I would recommend the 2013 one more to someone who likes the prequels than the Clone Wars. But that price increase with inflation and the set being retired for 8 years is really going to make this set hard to pick up nowadays. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. Let me know what you guys think of this comparison. I know it was pretty short because, well, it just seemed pretty obvious to me and I didn't really know how to stretch this out any longer than I did. Let me know if you agree, disagree with me in the comment section down below, and why, of course. And I'd be happy to hash it out with any of you guys down below.